Welcome back to the channel. I'm Amani Forrester, author of the book 30 Reasons Why Men Deserve Nothing. It's available right now on Amazon and it's free to read if you have Kindle Unlimited. We also have a Patreon now for videos and deep dives that might be a little too much for YouTube. Links are in the description. Also, I don't know what's going on with YouTube, but many of you are being unsubscribed without your knowledge or consent, so please make sure to check that you're still subscribed and hit the bell notification so you never miss a video.
Hey y'all, Amani here. So recently I covered the story of Natalie Barnett, aka NataleeBFitness. Now she's the young woman from the UK who opened up a women's only gym. On this channel, we're here for all the girlies, all of them who are interested in decentering males, building community, supporting each other, respecting and protecting one another, and just, growing and developing yourself into the best version of you. I don't care if you're straight, queer, bi, non binary, trans, etc. So long as you're respectful and you feel our message aligns with you, you have a place here. That being said, I did not take kindly to all the racism and the threats of harm and unaliving that Natalie received, and that so many people seem to gloss over, like so many people who were against her policies for her gym. It's honestly disturbing how many people tried to actually justify all of what was being said about her by saying, like, yeah, the threats were bad, but she's the one doing so and so. She's the one who promised this and that. Like, no, that behavior is never okay. And it doesn't matter how hurt your feelings are. Black people's lives are always undermined, and I'm not allowing it here, okay? I'm a Black woman too, and just know, like, our lives matter, period. It's not okay to start throwing racism and slurs and threats of harm and violence just because you're angry at someone. That will never be okay here. I'm going to reiterate it again. People can be criticized without dehumanizing them and without wishing them harm. And if you can't do that, or if you don't agree, you can leave. I'm not okay with casual cruelty towards Black women. I cover stories here, and so does Shanice, all the time, advocating for the protection of women of all different ethnicities, backgrounds, whatever. I don't pick and choose the criteria for when a woman's life is important. If you wish to stay here, I ask that you do the same and that you be respectful. Also, Shanice and I were talking recently, and as Black women, we can definitely relate to so many of the, TW girlies feeling excluded by businesses. It's not a new feeling for Black people. So we do have empathy. Over the years, there have been so many brands across the world who have used Black people for our money or for our clout and then thrown us away. It's been happening for literally decades, if not longer. There have been so many Black musical artists, for example, who have promoted luxury brands in their songs. And like these brands have become like billion-dollar companies because Black people would run out to support them while listening to the music, only for the owners to come out years later and let Black people know that we were never who they envisioned wearing their clothes or buying their shoes or driving their cars. It happens to us all the time and it hurts, and no one sticks up for us. Nobody cares. We just kind of deal with it. But what we don't do collectively as Black people is we don't call for the unaliving of these brand owners, okay? We don't call for their harm. We don't talk about we have pew-pews ready for them. We don't do any of that. We don't threaten them. Instead, we talk with our dollars. We say, okay, you know what? They don't rock with us. They tricked us. They made us build their company and they actually hate us. Fine, we're boycotting. We're not supporting them. So, Natalie she didn't show any hate. She was pretty respectful in the way that she was speaking and everything, but you don't have to rock with her or her gym if you feel like she's excluding you. You can just boycott her as well. At the end of the day, it's her gym and she can do what she wants with it, period. That being said, I want to get into today's video because it's important for me to finish the story of NataleeBFitness's controversy because there have been updates, and as much as people were really crashing out over my last video on this topic and unsubbing and angry in the comments, I feel like I need to finish her story because, like I said, there has been updates, and I was one of the people saying, yeah, she should give their money back. It's not right to take people's money and build something and they think it's going to be something they can use and turns out they can't. So yeah, return their money. I was all for that. So let's get into it. So I'm currently on NataleeBFitness's Twitter account. She made a post on the 13th. She said, "I'd like to bring clarity regarding donations to my women's only gym, the Girls Spot, from a GoFundMe campaign that started in 2021. She says, from 2021, when I publicly spoke about being trans inclusive, until March 9th, 2025, there have been 89 donations in total from the public, with donations averaging at £13. The total donation amount from the public, outside of family and friends, was £1,190. The truth is, I contributed £50,000 of my own money to make the Girls Spot a reality, and donations didn't come from one singular community. I recognize some donors feel differently given the recent updates about how TGS will be operating, and I want to respect that choice." She says, "If you have donated to the Girl Spot GoFundMe page and would like a refund, please email support@thegirlspot.co.uk with a screenshot of GoFundMe confirmation email, which will include your full name, donation date, and donation amount." And then she goes on to say, like, after verifying, you will receive a 5-digit code. Once confirmed, your refund will be processed. And then she ends it by saying, "I have always been transparent about fundraising for the Girls Spot, and I genuinely want everyone to feel supported. I know this conversation has been difficult for some, and I hope we can all continue advocating for spaces where people feel safe and respected." Now, the actual amount that the public donated to Natalie's gym came as a shock to a lot of people, especially because there's lots of misinformation floating around that, like, um, the public had donated thousands upon thousands of dollars, and really it was under $2,000. So one person wrote, "LMAO, the way I thought donations funded the entire building," and it got like over 300 likes. And someone else said, "So basically everyone that was demanding refunds or telling her to refund people didn't even donate. Ridiculous group of people screaming all over the internet about being scammed, and this is what they donated." Someone else said, "This is actually so astonishing, knowing the tweets that were shared the other day, like, where are the thousands y'all claim to have donated?" Someone else said, "Thank you for offering the chance for a refund. I hope you will also continue to receive and listen to feedback from those who want to share how they feel about your decision. It's important to keep up the discussion going forward." Another person said, "You still lied to them." Someone else says, "The people in the quotes who are trying to find any way to downplay people's very warranted feelings because, God forbid, people are mad, they donated to something false advertised. I don't care if it's $5 or 13. If you advertised something and took people's money for it and then doubled back, you are wrong, period." Yeah. I'm going to try to see if I can find a couple more comments. And then another person said, "Stop explaining yourself, girl. There are so many of us that are very proud and supportive of you. Focus on your business and keeping it safe." Natalie received a tweet from someone who said, "Honestly, I wouldn't mind paying a small amount on a yearly basis just to make sure this business keeps flourishing. So many women who wouldn't be able to go to your gym would gladly pay £10 yearly. Please look into it." And it got over 3,000 likes. That's incredibly kind of people to just want to see people's businesses flourishing, because, like, women-owned businesses, they don't get a lot of funding, just generally. So this is just very kind of someone to still be wishing her well and not even be maybe from London, but still wanting to make sure that her business does work out. And she ends up saying, "I've honestly had a lot of requests for this, and I'm so moved by it, honestly. Means a lot that people want to do this, so thank you. I've been speaking to the team about setting up a Patreon or something of the sort, so we'll keep you updated." And then Natalie actually wrote a day ago as well, "Thank you for all the incredible support. It hasn't gone unnoticed in the slightest. And to whoever just donated £775 to the Girls Spot, you're beyond kind. Thank you so much." So as she's trying to give back people's refunds, people are just showing their support and generosity. This tweet came as a shock to me. This was 5 hours ago at the time of this recording. She shows her inbox where she's allowing people to send her emails, showing that they donated and want their money back. This is for refund requests. It says, "Enjoy your empty inbox." She just puts period. That's the only message she puts with this screenshot. There's nothing there. So far, nobody has asked for a refund. Where are all the donators who claim, "Hey, my money was used and I feel betrayed"? She's still waiting on those messages. You can read these comments if you want. But yeah, people are like, this is no surprise. This was just about bullying. Been following you for a few years, and seeing you bring the gym to reality has been nothing short of incredible. While I don't agree with the thinking that's making it a same sex gym will somehow make it safer, considering cis women can also be unsafe individuals. That's absolutely true, and I'm sure she's going to have to deal with any sort of issues that can come up. Someone else says, I don't know what you thought you were doing here, you're still wrong. Someone else says, where's all the people requesting their donations back? Pretends to be shocked. Someone says, it was never about the donations for them. That was the excuse they kept using. This doesn't surprise me at all. And someone else says, we will protect you. Someone says, I'm not sure what this is supposed to prove. You deleted all your emails. You set up a new email address. I mean, the initial of the account holder doesn't even match your own, who is S. So some people are skeptical, but if we're to take it at face value, which you don't have to, but you can if you want to, so far she's claiming that no one has come forward.
Post-editing Amani here. I recorded this video and then I wanted to go back and read a few more of the comments under Natalie's original post. The problem is that when I tried to go back to her Twitter account, it turned out she had privated it again. She recently put her post on private after all the unaliving and grape threats, so she only made it public to let everyone know that she was issuing refunds and then to show people that, look, there's nobody trying to claim a refund. It's unfortunate because there was originally a comment that I had come across and I wanted to show it to y'all. It was from a male and he wrote, "This is disgusting." That's what he said about her post about issuing refunds. People were so confused and were asking him, what's disgusting? What do you mean? What are you talking about? And it's so interesting that he would say that because one of the main reasons people dragged Natalie and said she was a scammer is because she had collected donations from TW and their allies while not delivering on her promise to include them in her gym clientele. So this was just her way of trying to make amends and right some of her wrongs. No one disagrees that Natalie should never have advertised her gym one way only to change it up later. It obviously would have been best if she knew from day one who her ideal clientele was and advertised it as such. But, she was only 20, so let's give her some grace. She came up with this idea for her gym 5 years ago. So 5 years have passed since that time. People's business models change over time. People change over time. Things happen. It's unfortunate that she hurt so many people's feelings in the process of figuring out her company, but she was trying to correct some of that by giving back the donations. So it makes me wonder what the guy who thought she was so disgusting expected her to do at this point. In another comment, I even saw someone say, "It's not about the money," which left a lot of people confused, and they were like, it's literally about the money. Y'all made the donations and how much of a scammer Natalie is, your main talking point. I say all this to say that I do think there is oftentimes this desire within other marginalized communities to dump on Black women. That's not to say that if anyone else was in the situation, they wouldn't be dragged as well, but the amount of hate and vitriol and just the lack of forgiveness that people want to give her, the lack of grace, it's like nothing I've seen in recent times. There's this alarming and growing trend across marginalized groups, whether they're the LGBTQ plus community or other POC, including BM, where some seem very dedicated to framing the Black woman as the ultimate villain, as this big bad bully, as the oppressor of all of the oppressed. Everything you do or fail to do is demonized as a Black woman, and you aren't allowed to mess up or make mistakes, or else you're intentionally oppressing other people. And there is no forgiveness, no matter what. And this is speaking in generalities, it's not everyone, but it's just something that Shanice and I have noticed and seen pretty often. I think the disgust that the male expressed was basically a cover for his own frustrations with not having a reason to further criticize Natalie. He wants to justify hating her so bad. So he was really hanging that money issue over her head, like many others were. But she ruined that.
She ruined that for him by offering refunds, which shows her integrity and her desire to listen to the public and fix some of the damage that she had unwittingly caused. Yet some people still refuse to accept that. They still want to be mad at her. They still want her to be that big bad bully, that villain that they've painted her as in their heads. So that's why even when she issued that refund, there's still this extraordinary backlash and renewed anger towards her amongst people who are just dedicated to hating her. So, yeah, I found that very interesting. It's a shame I couldn't show you all the comments that I was looking for, but I did want to add this food for thought to the video. And like other people expressed too, like this is her first gym. Apparently, most gyms fail within the first year. Like 80+% of them tend to fail. So she's really taking a risk with even starting a gym. But hopefully, over time, it is so successful that maybe she can open other gyms eventually and be more inclusive. Like people are hoping that. And I think that's very much a possibility. It happens with businesses. It'll start one way and it can morph into something else for whatever reason. I'm not trying to get people's hopes up. Like she's one gym. There's many other gyms that people can attend. But at the end of the day, this is her business. And who knows? It could change. It could change over time. But I did want to point out that people are still mad at her for trying to right her wrongs. But this is just the latest update in the NataleeBFitness controversy. I'm not sure I'll continue to follow this story publicly because I know it makes people quite upset, and I really don't like the energy it brings to our videos and to the channel as a whole. But I felt like, to be completely honest with y'all, I would have to finish the story, you know, because in the first video, everyone's like, give the money back, give it back, you're a scam, you're a liar, all of these awful things. And I couldn't just leave it there and then have everyone walk away believing that that's the type of person she is. She has come forward, she's let everyone know, get your refunds, just email me showing proof that you donated and I'll give it back. And that's what she's done, and so far nothing. But yeah, let me know what y'all think in the comments. Keep it respectful. Anybody who starts throwing names at me, at the channel, who starts fighting in the comments with other people and calling them names is probably gonna be blocked or something. Be respectful. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.